We're back with our Who Would Win book, Killer Whale versus Great White Shark. I also pulled out my spiral notebook and I wrote reading response on it last time just to kind of like, hey, this is where I'm putting my reading responses. You can if you want. It's okay if you don't. Remember, we did put one fact that we found interesting from our reading last time. We worked on our heading. We're going to do that again today, but first we're going to read our book. So pause the video if you don't have your book and go grab it, and then come back and hit play. Here we go. And remember, we're doing this because this is schoolwork that we are supposed to be doing. Unlike the spring where it was an option, this is actually work that we have to do. So we're going to work on our reading skills using this nonfiction text. And look at all of these cool features that it has. It's got these really neat pictures here to help us understand things. It's got labels. I'm digging it. Here we go. Remember, you can follow along. It's really important that you do and you don't just sit and do nothing, because connecting those words on the page as you follow along as I read, that's an extra brain connection. And you can feel free to even quietly read out loud or loudly read out loud at home if you want. The killer whale's dorsal fin looks like these. On a male killer whale, the dorsal fin can be up to 6 feet tall. I'm only 5 feet. That's a whole other foot above me. Whew. Killer whales can be found in all oceans. So here's the example that they have, the female and the male, and you can see theirs is much taller. Interesting. Male and female great white sharks have dorsal fins that look the same. Oh, okay. So for the killer whale, they're different, but for the sharks, they're the same. And that's what this picture is showing here. They are the same. Great white sharks are also found in all oceans. So both, their dorsal fins may be different between the shark and the orca, but both are found in all oceans. Killer whales are meat eaters. Their favorite foods are seals and sea lions, but they also eat salmon and other fish. A killer whale was once seen grabbing a moose and a deer off the shoreline. What? And here's a little fact box here. The killer whale is king of the food chain. It has no natural enemies. So there's always a food chain for everybody. Every animal living thing on the planet, there's some type of a food chain. So you can see this is what the killer whale will eat, and then you can see what each of these little things eats down to the smallest thing. But there is nothing that just naturally eats the killer whale. Oh dear. Ooh, the ocean is more like a food web than a food chain. In the ocean, everything eats almost everything else. Oh, I like that they called it a web. Interesting. A little bit nervous if nothing eats that guy. Ooh, you get a lot of them. They could attack all of the moose. Great white sharks eat fish, but also have been known to eat seals, sea lions, and even sea turtles. Now and then they eat a few people. Not often, though. So here's their food chain, or kind of like it talked about, the ocean's more like a food web. In the ocean, everything eats almost everything else. Except for, like, you know, the orca. There isn't something that eats it. Here's a good fact box. A great white shark is also high on the food chain. It is the largest predatory fish. Tiny plankton is eaten, oh, right here, by small fish. Small fish get eaten by bigger fish. Bigger fish get eaten by larger fish, and so on. And then they get eaten by this seal, sea lion, and then comes a shark. So you can see how it's all connected, which is pretty cool. I wonder if you sat down and you thought about your food chain. Interesting, huh? Or food web, I don't know. Ooh, you guys know the size of a school bus. I get this. A male killer whale is bigger than a female killer whale. So here's our male and here's our female, and you can see the difference. The male, it says on this graph that they've made on this graph paper, these lines here, 23 feet, and the female is 19 feet. A female is about 4 feet shorter, about, so that's an estimate. They might be a little bit shorter than that, maybe a little bit bigger. It's about. Killer whales have bones. This is a killer whale skeleton. That is a weird, it's so weird because you see the tail and the flippers, the fins. That's kind of cool to look at. The female great white shark is bigger than the male. Oh, okay, so now it's opposite for the great white shark. Females are whiter and about 3 feet longer. So you can see the male is 13 feet and the female is 16 feet. Great white sharks do not have bones. Shark skeletons are made of cartilage. Feel your own ear. It is made of cartilage. So your ears right here, there's no bone on this outer part here. This is all cartilage that makes this. Here. That's what they're made out of. Isn't that weird? It's weird. Look, no bones! They've just got this jawbone right here that has all their teeth. That's it. Weird. Although they are huge, killer whales can jump completely out of the water. Ooh, I love Did You Know Fact Bubbles. Killer whales might jump for fun to knock some whale lice off their skin or to catch a fish or a seal. I didn't know there was whale lice. Ooh. In a fight, who do you think would win, a killer whale or a great white shark? Did you know great white sharks have been seen leaping into the air to catch a seal or a sea lion? Wow, great white sharks can jump completely out of the water too. So look at the facts. Who do you think has an advantage? Who would win? Oh, and that's day 3. I can't go there yet. Okay, so what we're going to do today for our reading response. Remember, we're going to put a heading. I'm just going to skip a few lines. Tuesday. And I like to put what book I was reading. And we were reading pages, well, obviously, we read to 7 last time. So we started on 8. And we read to 15. So pages 8 through 15. I like that, just to keep track of where I was reading. It's helpful. We're going to actually do a little drawing. This right here, our little graph, and I'm actually going to make a graph of how tall the shark and the whale is. So I'm just going to use, I think maybe the rest of my paper. Oh, did you hear my phone went off? Says hello. It's probably Mrs. Peterlin or Mrs. Johnson asking a question. We're not supposed to be in the same room, so we can just message each other. All right. I'm just going to draw these, but then I want to leave, I don't know. Do I want to leave a space? I think I do. So I'm going to draw, when you're making a graph, always start with this L shape. We're going to do just a bar graph like this. And over here, these are called the vertices of each graph. You'll learn it later, don't worry. This line down here, I'm going to have the animal. And I'm going to do, let's see. Well, they did the male killer whale. I'll just do orca, so it's easier to write orca than killer whale. It's one less word. And female orca. And I'm just spacing them apart, so I've spaced on my graph. And this is the male, I should probably say great white. Great white shark, since there are different types of sharks. And this is the female great white shark. Now, sometimes you will see graphs in nonfiction text in order to help you understand things. And that's what they did here. They just made it look a little bit different. Now, on this side of our graph, these are our numbers. So I need to go at least to 23 feet because that's the biggest number I have. I think I'm going to make it, I think I'll make it 25 up here. This will be 25. Now, I don't think I have enough lines, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Yeah, I don't have enough lines. So I think maybe I'll try skipping by twos and see if that works. So this down here in this corner, it's 0. And this is 2, 4, 6, 8. Remember to pause the video if you need to catch up with me, because I know graphing you've done before, but this is a good review. I know you haven't done it for a while. So, oh, this will work. And I'll make this line 26. I'll do that. I like it. And then I can just erase that top part. There. You kind of get to decide if you want to count by 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s, you know, whatever. It makes it kind of nice. I did by 2s because I wanted to be able to see my numbers a little bit better. By 5s, the stretch would be weird. Anywho, so now I just need to make my graph, my bars. So I have my male orca, and I am going to draw my bar graph 23 feet. So I'm going to draw up. It's going to be in between 22 and 24, and I'm just going to make it a bar. If you wanted to, you could totally pause the video and you could get your crayons or colored pencils out and you could color the bars if you wanted to. I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to write 23. And then my female orca is 19 feet. So I'm going to go up, 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 in between 18 and 20. Make my bar. And then I've got my male great white shark, and he's only, in my book, he's 13. So I'm going to go up, and 13 is in between 14 and 12. So I'm going to make a little mark. Sometimes you may have to start over here and travel just to make sure that you're in the right spot. Remember to pause this video if you need to. That is totally fine because I know I'm going a little fast. And this was 13 feet, and the female great white shark was 16. I'm going to go up. Ooh, I don't know where 16 is. Let me mark the line first. There's the line. Okay. Now we've labeled this bottom one here. This is the animal. We've labeled the different bars. The last thing we need to do is we need to label over here our numbers. And this would be feet. Or we could say length in feet. Ooh, I like that even better. Details. Length in feet. I like it. So if you can see, I did length. It's kind of hard to see, I know. L-E-N-G-T-H is length in feet. And now I have both of these labeled. I've got my numbers. I have each of my labels for my bars on my bar graph. And I made my bars on my bar graph. And now I've got some really cool information from my book. And you just did a little bit of math too. You got to make a bar graph. Ooh. All right, guys, we will continue next time with the next part of our book. If you have already read ahead, don't tell us what happens. Don't tell us any information. We are excited to find out. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Remember, if you need to go back, feel free to go back and watch the video. I went really fast. That's okay to go back and watch it again or to pause it as I go. Totally fine. That's the cool part about distance learning is that you can pause me when you need to. All right, see you next time.